So this is a long video. Just gonna preface that for my standards. This is basically a loadout based off of the exotic Tommy's Matchbook. It's a little bit a weird exotic because it hurts you as you use it. And in Crucible, life is already at such a premium. Why would you want something like that? For me, it was a challenge. It was, let's see if we can find a build or a loadout that makes this work. And I can actually get kills, be a help to my teammates. I like the results. This is one that I might go back to and might try and do a little bit better in the future. So check it out. The subclass we're going to use with the Warlock is the Dawnblade. This is middle tree with Well of Radiance, which many people use exclusively in PvE, but I wanted to see how I could make it work in PvP. One of the coolest parts about this is actually the Divine Protection, which converts your grenade into a healing grenade and drops an overshield. Tommy's Matchbook, the real cornerstone of the loadout. Ignition trigger. Sustained fire with this weapon overheats it, increasing damage, but burning the user. Pretty fun perk where you have to give away life in order to take it. Reminds me a little bit of Touch of Malice from D1. And the trait Heatsink, overheat damage is reduced while not aiming down sights. Means that while you're hip firing, you actually take less damage from Tommy's. Plus, it has an aim assist of 81. So that's incredible for an auto rifle. At 720 RPM and 100 rounds in the magazine, there really is no other weapon like it. I've used this bow before, but I needed something to give me more options of health regeneration. Unrelenting on Whispering Slab will help. I also like the lightweight frame so I can move faster with Whispering Slab equipped, and then swap back to Tommy's Matchbook really quickly using Quick Access Sling. You'll really see that I am mainly using Tommy's Matchbook in these matches. It's rare that I actually fire the bow. It's rare that I really even go pick up heavy. Tell me if you've seen anyone running Sanguine Alchemy recently in the Crucible. After the nerf to take away its wall hacks, it became kind of useless. You really don't want to be standing in a rift most of the time because you're a sitting duck. I want to make this an offensive tactic, using a rift as a means to push, to engage, to be aggressive. Blood Magic is the armor perk. Its weapon kills while standing in any rift, pause the rift's countdown, extending its duration. Further kills maintain and extend the length of the pause. This is amazing if you're running with the team. Like the fact that you can have rifts dropping at any minute, keeping it longer by getting your kills, Tommy's not taking away from your health because you're in the rift. It's really nice. For so long, we've thought of a rift as just a means to quickly get some health or bounce in and out of. I like to sit in that thing and chunk away. I said earlier that I want to have a rift every minute, and that's what I've done with my recovery. Being above 80, it's 51 seconds on a class ability cooldown, so I can just drop these any minute. Distribution reduces all ability cooldowns when using your class ability near enemies, and Bomber reduces grenade cooldown when using your class ability, so I'll keep getting those health grenades back anytime I pop a rift. I'm using Tommy's just to show you how long it takes to get down to the red in your health. With hipfire, it takes just over 4 seconds. When you're ADS'd, it takes just under 3 seconds. So that is a solid second difference of how much health you have, and could be all the difference in an encounter. It's just something to think about as you're using the weapon, whether you're going to be ADS'd in an engagement or hip firing. This little test is only for a Warlock. It has to do with the rift and how much your health gets chunked down when emptying the full magazine. Both case scenarios, you lose your overshield completely, but in the ADS, you lose about a quarter of your health, and then hipfired, you really don't lose any. It just bounces back and forth between a little bit of health and a little overshield. I've done a really good job here of just sitting myself in the middle of the action and trusting that I'm gonna somehow stay alive. A simple sniper shot will end me, and I know that in all of these scenarios. But part of the reason that I'm popping this well so close to people is to mitigate a little bit of that range that people will have on me to just take me out. I think one of the cool things about some of these clips is that I'm not actually using Tommy's with the overheated procced, so I'm just able to really use the weapon as a base auto rifle and still get kills. just having 100 rounds in the mag for an auto rifle is so nice. I mean, this isn't sweet business, right? Like, I don't have to really rev this thing up for it to throw out some fast firing rate. And some of these encounters you'd think I should be dropping down, but because the TTK goes down as I hold the trigger longer, I'm able to just survive, which is why having those healing grenades, your rift ready to go right after will sometimes save you from an enemy showing up right after a battle and just picking you off easily. You see how I've just set up these wells in the middle of the shit? Like, it's not sitting from afar by Nova and camping out to protect. I am going right into the middle of the fray, dropping it down, and trusting the fact that my gun skills / this weapon is just going to tear through them too fast. But even here, this is like a death alley, right? I don't know about you guys, but whenever I go into that alleyway or try and push it, I just know in the back of my mind, like, why am I doing this? I'm probably just gonna die. Man, that aim assist really is amazing. And I play on controller, so it helps a little bit more too. But flinch can really mess you up. If they get the first shots on you, it's gonna be really tough to come back from that. I really like the idea of holding down the trigger to ADS to start and then pulling out to hip fire to finish. I don't do that much, if at all, but now that I've been watching some gameplay, I think that that might be a really good way to use this weapon. Because you'll get the aim assist and the accuracy to start the fire, and then once you start to overheat, you pull off and hip fire your way to finish. You don't take as much damage from overheating. So just kind of like a cool little way to maybe switch your brain, because some people will start with a hip fire, or I do that sometimes. We'll start with a hip fire and then finish with the ADS. And with this, the opposite might actually be more beneficial. It's pretty obvious, I think, from this gameplay that using this build in control is going to be probably your best bet. It's really a way to stop the enemy from getting to where they want to get to. In Clash, in Trials, in Survival, you drop a well or a rift somewhere, they can easily avoid you. You know, the whole aggressive rift use works so much better in control. Another side point is that when you use your Well of Radiance, it actually stays after your death. This is kind of an underrated part of that super, because if you go in and throw that well down and it's in kind of a shitty situation, but then you die, your teammates can reap the rewards of it still, and you actually have time to spawn and get back to it, which I did a few times, but none of the clips ended up really good, so I just didn't include those. But like the wow, I'm actually gonna keep that in because I literally just tried to say bubble and Ward of Dawn, and that's what came out. So enjoy that. But Ward of Dawn disappears the moment the Titan that cast it dies, while Well of Radiance stays. Man, I am tongue-tied today. I actually forgot that some of these clips I was actually using Verity's Brow, which is another Warlock exotic. It's a helmet, and when you get energy weapon kills, it does more damage. Your grenade does more damage. So I tried that for a bit. It didn't work out as well as I wanted it to, because a lot of the times with the grenade, I want to use the healing grenade. So if it somehow made the healing grenade more powerful, that would be really cool. But I went back to Sanguine Alchemy just because having that ability to get the rift stay longer turned out to be pretty cool. Honestly, I rarely noticed it happening. I think it will happen right here in this clip. I have 10 seconds left in the healing rift. See if I get it extended with a kill up here. Yeah, so there's blood magic for 4 seconds. So I basically added 4 more seconds to my healing rift with that clip. which may have ended up keeping me alive. Who knows? It's one of those things that you don't really go for, but when it happens, it's really nice. I was really hoping that Blood Magic would work with Well of Radiance, and it shows up as procced in the bottom left corner, as you can see, but doesn't pause the timer for the Well. So there is something there that Blood Magic understands that the Well is kind of like a Rift, but it doesn't affect it. I would be very interested to see if Bungie wanted to make Sanguine Alchemy work with Well of Radiance, because this could have ramifications on not just Crucible, but also PvE. It might make it a little too powerful. I'm not sure, depending on what kind of DPS phase, how many ads you have around you. But for Crucible, it might pull more people into running Middle Tree well and using Sanguine Alchemy. This is a good one to finish on. It's not really Tommy's at all. It's just dropping the Well and meleeing my way to victory. So as you can see, it's pretty viable. You can have a great time with this weapon. You're not going to be dying all the time. You can have above a 1.0 KD.
You have to have 2.5 KD, must have 70 flawless clears.
I'd suggest you guys giving it a go. Let me know if you found any Tommy's Matchbook loadouts that really work well, that are maybe better or more suited towards threes. I'd love to see if this can be used in trials, in survival, against the Gnawing Hunger, Summoner, Suros meta that we got going on here. I hope you liked it. I had a lot of fun using it. I've said that before. If you guys aren't following me on Twitch, I'm streaming there, twitch.tv/prosuperhero. So please like, subscribe, comment. It means the world to me.
Say you're there. Let me know you're there.
Happily chat more about the future of this channel. Open ears right here. I'm going to keep doing it. It's a lot of fun learning as I'm going through this. But until next week, have a good one.